Hi, Milwaukee. How are you doing this morning? Hope or afternoon. It is noon. It is noon. The time really flies when you're watching movies. I would know because we are already halfway through the Milwaukee Film Festival. It is day 8 of the Milwaukee Film Festival. Hopefully, you've seen some awesome stuff. Let me know what you've liked or haven't liked in the comments. I've been watching some really interesting stuff. I already talked about The Pink Cloud, talked about Cowboys. I highly recommend, if you are a horror movie fan, I highly recommend checking out The Djinn. Tonight is the final night that The Djinn will be available at the Milwaukee Film Festival, and then you're just going to have to cross your fingers that maybe it shows up in a theater somewhere or something like that. So, oh, hi, cat. There's a cat here now. Yeah. And it is making its presence known. But anyways, but yeah, I highly recommend checking out The Djinn. Hopefully there will be a review of that. Cat. Hopefully there will be a review of that on Milwaukee sometime later today. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, highly recommend checking out The Djinn. Even if you don't like gory horror movies, you just like watching a nice, good thriller, yeah, The Djinn applies. So check that one out. That's not one of my 3 to see for today, though. That was a 3 to see from before. I'm just letting you know, because there are a few movies that are only available for a little bit of time. I'm allergic to cats. You are a pest. But there are a few films throughout the film festival that are only available for a limited amount of time. For instance, Summer of Soul is only going to be available on the closing night. And in the case of The Djinn will only be available through tonight. So check out The Djinn if you want to see The Djinn. And if anyone wants a cat, this one's for sale. There we are. That's fallen back down. Anyways, so what are my 3 to see for today? I'm going to start with a movie that was in my 12 picks. My 12 particular movies, my must-sees, is the Rita Moreno documentary, Just a Girl Who Decided to Go For It. Rita Moreno, it's one of those things where, those kind of star profile documentaries sometimes aren't the most compelling cinema. But a lot of it depends on the story being told and the star being profiled. And honestly, you couldn't get a better subject than Rita Moreno. She is a groundbreaker. She's an incredible, and she's just an incredible screen presence. Even in a classic talking head style doc, I think you'd want to watch Rita Moreno. It's the classic case of I would watch this person read the telephone book. I would watch Rita Moreno read the Yellow Pages. She's just an incredible performer. She is such a personality. And I would love to learn more about her history in Hollywood and her career. And I mean, she's one of the few people with an EGOT, which for people who don't know what an EGOT is, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. She's got all 4. She's one of the few people. So she's awesome, and I'd really love to learn more about her. And if you want to learn more about her, I always think at the Oscars, it was so annoying that they ended the Oscars with Joaquin Phoenix giving away, obviously the end of the Oscars was a massive, cluster bomb, no matter what. But it would have been at least a little bit better if it had ended with Rita Moreno presenting the final awards. She presented Best Picture, but for some odd reason, Best Picture wasn't the final award of the night. So you kind of brought out this Hollywood icon to give away the 3rd most important of them. Just let Rita Moreno give out actress, picture, and actor. And that way, they wouldn't have the awkwardness of Joaquin Phoenix walking out on stage and being like, I don't know what to say about acting, so I'm not going to say anything about acting. When the whole premise of the night was that the presenters, I'm not going to get going on the Oscars again. I'm not going to do it. We have moved on as a society. But anyways, so Rita Moreno, Just a Girl Who Decided to Go For It. That is my first recommendation for today. Recommendation number 2 is a thriller, a crime thriller from Australia called The Dry. Yeah, quite an odd name, but it is about this detective played by Eric Bana. Remember Eric Bana? Hollywood was really into making Eric Bana a thing, and it never quite took, which is a shame because I think he's a really great actor. He's great in Munich. He's really funny in Funny People. He's one of the only things I like in that back end of Funny People. And he's a really good actor. When he shows up in things, I'm happy. So here he is. He's playing a detective who comes back to this town that he used to work in. this town that's been suffering a drought, therefore the name, The Dry. But they are dealing with far more than just a drought. The town is still haunted by this murder case that he wasn't able to solve when he worked there. So now he comes back to this small town and, he's like, maybe I can give it a second chance. Maybe I can finally solve this case that went so sideways and so wrong. And it sounds a lot like a True Detective kind of situation, or a Mayor of Easttown situation, or one of those kind of HBO crime dramas. And you know what? I'm a sucker for them, honestly. We've seen a bunch of them, but you know what? If you've got good performers, if you've got an interesting story, if you've got a story that has something to say, like, I'm in. I'm all on board, so I'm very interested to see this. And you've got Eric Bana. I'm a big Eric Bana fan. So I'm very interested in The Dry, this Australian crime drama. So that is one of my 3 to see for today as well. And then my final 3 to see is the complete and literal opposite of The Dry. It is a very wet movie. It is called Playing with Sharks. A documentary about sharks, and Valerie Taylor, who is a diver and shark conservationist, who actually is such an expert on sharks. They had her on set for Jaws, and she was a pro on that. And now she swims with sharks like a lunatic. I will never swim with sharks. I don't care how thick the cage is. I don't think anything. Don't want to mess with it. Don't want to deal with it. But I will happily watch people swim with sharks from the comfort of my couch, and that is what Playing with Sharks offers. Gorgeous aquatic cinematography, and the story of this woman who knows so much about sharks and has such a passion for sharks, and is now trying to keep sharks alive, because sharks are a key part of the Earth's ecosystem, even though we hate them because sometimes they get chompy. Very interested to learn more about sharks and to learn about this fascinating person, and also just to enjoy a very summery movie, because we're going to be going swimming in some sunny weather and hanging out with some sharks in the middle of the ocean. And honestly, I'm ready for summer now. So even if they're sharks, give me a movie that feels summery. So we've got Playing with Sharks. We've got The Dry. We've got Rita Moreno, just a girl who decided to go for it. And you've got over 200 other movies to watch at the Milwaukee Film Festival going on right now. Definitely check that out. Hopefully you've seen some really awesome stuff. I watched Cowboys the other night, which I really quite enjoyed as well, with Steve Zahn and Jillian Bell. Thought that was a solid movie. I watched that with my significant other. She quite liked it too. It's a nice movie. I think there's another draft of that movie that could have been even better, but I think it's a really solid, really charming first draft of a movie that I think is worth definitely checking out. And I really enjoyed In Silico. Like I said, The Djinn, highly recommend The Djinn. And I wasn't able to finish the movie, unfortunately, but if you have kids and you're looking for something to watch on a summer vacation day or something like that, especially younger kids, I really liked the movie Jackie and Upton, or Uppian. It is this children's film. I normally don't do a lot of the kids' films at the Milwaukee Film Festival because I am a grown-up. I am a grown 30-year-old man who loves watching superhero movies and silliness and still laughs at fart jokes. But this one is it's a Danish movie, I believe, about a young girl who her mom works at a museum, an art museum, and one of their big acquisitions, it comes alive, and the woman in the painting comes out of the painting to search for her sister, who is in a different painting. And so this little girl has to help Uppian, this figure from an old Rembrandt painting, to find her sister so she can go back in her painting. And it's really kind of good. It's like a Danish night at the museum, but not quite as manic, and both a little bit smarter and just as kid-friendly silly as you would hope it to be. I I didn't get to finish it. I started watching it really late last night, and I've turned 30 now, and I've understood that, I just can't stay up as much as I really wish I could these days. But I'm going to be revisiting. I'm going to be popping back into that movie today. That's the nice thing about a virtual film festival is that, hey, if you get midway through a movie and you can't make it all the way through, stop it. You can come back to it. It's all right there at your fingertips. You get to schedule your dream film festival. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And hopefully that's what you've been doing as well throughout this film festival. Hopefully you've been checking out some really cool stuff. But that is my missive from the day. Remember, The Dry, Playing with Sharks, Rita Moreno, and my bonus recommendation. I've already recommended it before, but I'll recommend it one more time because today's your last day to check it out. The Djinn, especially if you like horror movies. It's a good little freaky creep out. So check all of that out and check out whatever you want. Let me know what you've been watching and let me know what you've been enjoying at the Milwaukee Film Festival. It's the best 15, 16 days of the year. I hope you're having a great time. And by the time this is all done, the weather should be all done being cool, and it should be gorgeous outside. So save going outside for later. Watch movies now. Go outside when it's actually nice out. So I will see you all tomorrow. I'll be back here at noon tomorrow for more recommendations with a very special guest. So you'll want to join for that. And for now, everybody, have a great Thursday. You're almost done with the week. Woo, 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 woo. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.